Well, speaking of the fighter and the kid, I guess we could play this Callen cut because I don't know if Bryan Callen is resorting to like. Actually, this seemed genuine. So Bryan Callen got all pissed off. He's on a conspiracy show with Sam Tripoli, and they're arguing about conspiracies. And get this, guys. Sam Tripoli, host of Tinfoil Hat and the Conspiracy Social Club with Bryan Callen, who, you know, loves like Alex Jones and believes in QAnon and all this shit, I think.
Yeah, who doesn't?
He said something a little wacky. And this is how Bryan Callen took it. I can't tell. I'm undecided if I'm like, good for Callen for not putting up with this shit. But it's also like, know what podcast you're on. What the fuck are you doing?
Okay, here's my problem, guys. And you have to be, I mean, this is a real problem. So now you guys are fucking, all you conspiracy guys are putting this fucking dude on blast and you don't know for real. So what you're doing right now, hold on, is you're taking, all you guys are taking this chief of the emergency response and you're trying to ruin his fucking life. What are you, with all your rumors?
God,
and it's
Bryan.
Irresponsible.
Bryan,
it's irresponsible.
Bryan, did you say what is the worst take I can take on this video?
So what are you doing?
Is that what you
so
did?
what are you doing?
Did
You're
you
doing
go
the
in
same,
your
you're
little
doing the
bit
same
of
thing with this guy Ray Epps.
Decimal
You guys did the
system
same shit with Ray
in
Epps.
the old library.
You did the same shit with Ray Epps. You're doing the same shit
Bryan,
with this.
because Ray Epps is a Fed. That's
got
why.
arrested.
Ray Epps is a Fed.
He just got arrested, Sam.
He's a Fed,
He
Bryan.
got arrested.
Yeah, because he's a Fed.
No, he's not a Fed.
He's a Fed.
No, he's not.
He
got
is a
arrested.
Fed. Bryan, do you understand what that is?
This is so irresponsible. I'm not going to do this because I think it's
Hold on.
And
This is interesting. He's saying this is so irresponsible. Like Sam Tripoli believes that the elite drink baby's blood and all this shit. Like I have no issue with Sam Tripoli. It's just like he's a radical conspiracy theorist.
Yep.
And Bryan's like, hey, I can't stand for this. He does a podcast with the guy every week. And watch how he reacts to this.
He also does a podcast with a sexual criminal. Has no issues.
No. What are you talking about?
That's true. That's true. Good point.
putting this guy on blast, and he's getting his life fucking harassed by a bunch of idiots who don't know anything.
Oh,
okay,
Bryan,
and it's irresponsible. So let me get this straight.
What is the
fucking chief. So wait, the chief of response. He started the fires. So the chief of response started the fires, and he's a murderer, and that's why. And he killed the secretary. Fucking bullshit, Sam. Not cool when you do that to someone.
Bryan, do you know
don't
that he told people they couldn't leave?
Shut the. I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm gonna walk.
I can tell you what Bryan Callen's really saying here is like, oh, so you're saying he was dating the girl, and it was 20 years ago, and she doesn't have her story straight, and you're just gonna say he raped her? And it's like, Bryan, I think we're not talking about the murder anymore, are we? We're just talking about journalism in general, huh?
I'm gonna walk
off, Bryan. Because we're in
all
the
you
fucking
guys
battle
start now. So you're gonna dox him.
evil.
So now this guy's gonna walk around and
Bryan,
he's gonna ruin his fucking life.
Good versus evil right now.
Sam,
Bryan,
you don't know this guy. You don't know the fucking details. This is where your bullshit. This is where your bullshit and all your fucking people go after one guy and ruin his life.
Your fucking
so
people.
You're going after this guy. He already fucked up.
Wouldn't that be our people?
I don't see. I think the point of this podcast is that like Bryan Callen is supposed to bring sanity to the Sam Tripoli world. You know, it's almost like like Sam Tripoli is supposed to be presenting the argument, and Bryan Callen's the judge and jury.
Gotcha.
I think that's the point of this, if I'm not mistaken. But this again seems very emotional to be on a podcast like this with this guy. It would be like if you were doing a show with Jerry. And we're like, boy, this is awfully extreme to one side, Jer.
I have done that. I have done that. Good. The Ray Epps thing, though, it's like that's the one.
I don't know enough about it to know who's right.
At very least, Ray Epps is on camera telling people to storm the Capitol. At least.
Well, again, I think this is Bryan Callen saying like, so you can just accuse someone of rape now, huh? That's not what we're talking about, Bryan.
You're just going to get divorced because your wife's embarrassed to be with you in public, huh?
Oh, I guess it's going to ruin your life for a while. And you have to do this podcast because you get thrown off the fighter and the kid. Is that what you're saying about Ray Epps?
You're part of a really popular series, The Hangover. You're not going to get work ever again, huh? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, sure. The Goldbergs is never going to have Ray Epps back on. Oh, I guess that's what you're saying, eh, Sam?
Brian,
He might have been just shitty at his job. How about that?
Brian,
but now you guys are tying in the fucking Vegas shooting with this guy, and he's responsible for the Vegas shooting and this. And let's go out.
Well, now it's personal, Mike. Do you have a change of heart?
Hey, wait a second. I enjoyed when the Donald Trump caller said that at least Stephen Paddock finished the job when he was talking about That's a great one.
It's fucking retarded shit. You should not do this.
Brian,
this is where I draw the line.
And if Brian says to you,
I'm not going to do it. If you guys are going to, I'm going to leave.
No, we're not doing it. We're not doing it.
If you're going to talk about this, if we're going to bring this guy up, I'm going to leave.
We're not doing it.
No, it's serious. It is serious.
I do care.
It is serious because you ruin people's lives. No, this. All you fucking assholes.
Okay, all right.
If you don't put this out,
I'm not
I
putting
will
it out.
lose my
because you want to gang up on somebody. You don't even know about this guy. You want to ruin his life. You want to ruin this guy's life. Do you know much about this guy? You don't know shit about this guy.
Can we take a break?
No, you fucking guys want to fucking. No,
you want this guy to make a Patreon that he's gonna get thousands of people to subscribe to, and then not put any work into. That's what you want to do.
He is really mad. There's something else going on with him.
You want this guy? You want Ray Epps to give a tearful apology and separate himself from Chris D'Elia. That's what you're saying. That he should pretend he never went on the road with Chris D'Elia and that they were never even really friends. That's what you wanted of Ray Epps?
Ray Epps is friends with the most popular broadcaster in America, and he just forgets about him. That's what you're trying to tell me?
Oh, I guess Ray Epps won't be invited to the mothership.
This guy, you don't know shit about this guy.
Brian,
do you know about this guy? So you think this guy should be in jail? He's a fucking murderer?
No, Brian,
that's what you're saying.
Ask questions.
Bullshit.
What happened?
You're saying he's a murderer, Sam. He's got kids. It's fucked up.
I'm saying.
No, you guys ruin people's lives with this bullshit.
People lost their kids.
Oh, fuck.
He's got kids that think that he cheated on their mother. And he's in the midst of a custody battle right now.
He's responsible.
Brian, no, but
he's
we're asking questions.
No, you're not asking questions. No, you're not.
Why?
No, you're not.
No, you're not asking questions. You're saying Ray Epps has to move to Dallas so he can work with Steven Crowder and get the red light turned on him. That's what you're saying his career's been reduced to.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, so Ray Epps has to pretend Steven Crowder's funny now. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, you tell me Ray Epps really loves Rumble, aren't you?
Oh, you're saying the audience is going to look at Ray Epps as a poor man's Dave Landau. Oh, great. Yeah, fine. The audience is going to yearn for the days of Dave Landau instead of Ray Epps.
They couldn't leave.
Who the fuck knows, Sam?
Did the cops?
Let me tell you something, Sam. Nick DiPaolo wouldn't put up with you treating Ray Epps like this. It makes you wonder why Ray Epps is tolerating it.
People leave.
Shut the fuck up.
No, this guy is having a.
Is that Schaub?
Oh, is he just in the background? I don't know.
Oh, I'm rewinding a little. That sounded like Schaub.
Having a.
Didn't go back far enough.
Hey, did the cops not let people leave?
Shut the fuck up.
No, this
It does sound like Schaub, right?
That sounds like Schaub.
Just deep throating a Bud Light. Hey guys, look at me. Distracting mom and dad from fighting.
Using it as a seat, being like, huh, does this work?
What are the gay jokes can I make?
Is this original? I'll open it with my butt cheeks.
Having a.
How long did it take the guy to come, Brian?
Brian,
definitely Schaub.
Brian,
no, because I go.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not doing this.
Okay, bye. Have a great day. No, Brian.
Ray Epps would never tell jokes.
Good for Sam, though, because there's an element that's taken over podcasting that's gotten lost from like the radio days. Like radio was much more, they loved the fighting. Podcast isn't like that. And to be fair, I'm not like that. Like I don't love tension and confrontation like that. Mm-hmm. So maybe in the same situation, I wouldn't behave this way. But I respect that Sam's just like, all right, see you later. Because I think Sam knows this fucking maniac walking out of a conspiracy podcast is better. I would never be watching this episode if it wasn't for this incident.
Manny Musket says $2. Wear the thick boy merch.
Do I do it? So here's the thing. The hat, maybe I could get away with. Do I wear the baseball jersey?
The hat you can get away with because like people who know will know.
Yeah.
The jersey is like, please, someone.
That's
strike.
saying, hey, look at me, guys. The thick boy is here. I'm also, you have to remember, I've got a cane, so I'm already catching the eye to some extent.
Yeah, it's
You
kind of
know?
like, and then the thick boy is going to be the focal point of your getup. So they're going to see the cane and their eyes going to immediately draw to the base.
Walking in, like, I feel like walking into Skankfest with a thick boy merch and a blind man's cane is like anywhere else, like with a top hat tuxedo and a scepter.
You're going to feel extra pressure to have to put him over when he's doing his set.
Good one, right, gang?
Do the one about Boston.
Boston Dynamics.
You got
Pretend you took a tour of Boston Dynamics.
The government can't see that shit, but you sure can. Bryan Kowalczyk. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, buddy. $10. I may need to turn this off. My name over and over. Nick West. $2. Mike's gay. LOL.
Whoa, Nick. That has not been confirmed. I don't have children.
Nope.
And there is wood on this wall behind it.
I think there is a little bit of wood, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I guess. It all heads up. A real bone smoker, as Craig would call me. Trying to think. What else do we have left that we need to tackle here? We should do the holy trinity of retards from LA. If we're talking about Callen and Shaw, Brendan, I didn't mean it about you. Should we play the Chris D'Elia video as well?
The laugh, the hardest laugh.
Hardest laugh Brendan's ever had. Now, keep in mind, gang, I guess we should play this with the context of, what if Louis C.K. did this? You know, because I got a lot of pushback on my Louis C.K. take. People don't agree with me, whatever. But at least he's, for the most part, gone away in this respect. He's not doing things like this. Now, just imagine a sexual predator puts out a viral clip where he's talking about a habit that he has. Now, on the Creep Off, me, Carl, and Vinny talked about a habit that he had where one of the allegations against Chris is that he took his penis out in the car with a woman, and that woman was crying and had to leave the vehicle.
I told him, I said, don't do a kiddie porn.
I think that's what she said to him as she was tearfully leaving the vehicle.
Yeah.
I said that's the one drop we have. And so, you know, Chris D'Elia has been known to take his penis out. It seems like a habit. It was in a few of the allegations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it seems like he's learned his lesson, because he's not doing that with young women anymore, at least. And it, you know, the thing about sexual predators is that if they're doing things sometimes, it's definitely not indicative of more, what's the word I'm looking for? Frequent behavior. It's certainly not, it's definitely not indicative of a habit. That's what I was looking for.
I never seen someone laugh so hard than when I was on the road with Joe Coy. I took my dick out and I was playing it with the guitar with this song. And it was me and him alone in a hotel room. And I was playing my dick as the guitar with this song.
What? That's so cool, Chris.
This is definitely a story he should not tell.
This is definitely a really funny story of hanging out with your boys. Is there anything worse than like the frat guy that felt the need to take his dick out all the time?
No.
If there's a gag, I'm trying to think of like, I can't even think of a context where it would be great. But the idea of like, hey, my penis is out. It's like, oh, hysterical. But I think that's something you shake off you like after college. Like in college and shit, I definitely get it. Chris is a father in his 40s.
I love that. In college, I completely understand.
Well, I mean, college is college, you know, frat boy humor, whatever.
Yeah.
This is a father in his 40s who has been through public scrutiny for rape, legitimate rape, honest to goodness, good old fashioned rape, not 2023, you know, mamby-pamby rape. This is, Chris has been accused of real hardcore dirty rape.
This wasn't a first date. You think she wants you to kiss her goodnight, and you were wrong.
It wasn't an Aziz Ansari fishhook.
Right.
It was legitimately, the accusation is that while the woman was crying, Chris was presenting her his penis, saying, "Do everything I say, and it'll all be fine."
It'll all be over.
That's a movie line rape. That's like if you were scripting a bad man that the average person doesn't think exists. Meanwhile, he goes on a podcast and tells this hilarious story.
Chilling. You're not ready. You're not even doing it yet. Just chilling. Right here.
Yeah. And so then, yeah, she's crying, and I just shove it in her mouth and say, like, "Hey, do as I say, and it'll all go smoothly."
Don't you like David Bowie?
Yeah. So Chris D'Elia said to Joe Coy, "Hey, listen, I know I've plied you with wine, even though I don't drink. Now come back to my room."
And then so stupid. Dude,
how do you remember this? It's insane. Dude.
Hold on.
How would you not remember that? It's quite simple.
I think, actually, I think what Brendan means is like, I think he's suggesting that Chris is playing the proper chords, which I have no idea how he would know that.
How do you remember how to play this song for real?
That's what I think. I think Brendan is saying, "Boy, this is really good. You're doing a good job."
Guitar Hero's gotten extreme.
Maybe that's why Brendan laughed so hard. If he thought actual music was coming out of Chris's penis, I can imagine that being the hardest you've ever laughed in your life. I suppose I'll excuse that.
Probably, bro.
Now they're just giggling at him. That's enough. You get the gist.
I think you should get your dick out.
He's twirling his penis around.
Don't ask me to do something I can't.
Yeah. So isn't that crazy though? Like the idea that I would think if you were accused, not once, not twice, but I don't know, 36 times of sexual misconduct, maybe more than that. Because I think at a certain point, like hundreds of women were coming forward. Now, as I've said before, a lot of them were probably bullshit. But a lot of them also probably weren't. If you just crunch the numbers.
Well, it's like Cosby having 100 accusers. You gotta assume at least 20.
If 80 of them were lying.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So with Chris D'Elia, if you're accused of that, don't you just say like, "Hey, gang, hey, fellas, I can't control myself. I still need to take my dick out when we're on the road, but maybe let's not broadcast it." What do you say?
maybe leave that out.
Maybe my penis is just it needs air, so it's coming out of that zipper anytime it can.
I like to imagine like a couple days later after D'Elia's getting shit for this, he just looks at everyone and he's like, "Aren't you guys my friends? Why wouldn't you tell me to stop?"
Well, this is a man that's went to sex addiction rehab.
Yeah, because that was his only problem, Mike.
In rehab, yeah, that was his only issue, was sex addiction. So wouldn't they tell you in rehab, like, "Hey, a trigger," I've heard the word trigger before. I'm not too familiar with like AA or NA or any of that stuff. But what I do believe is that they cite triggers. Now, I would think whipping your cock out in front of Asian American comedians might be a trigger if you're on the road, where you would typically find a lot of these victims.
I hope Joe Coy this week does a crying interview on like Good Morning America. And he's not.
I asked him to stop. He wouldn't stop.
It would be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, I think Joe Coy just should have done that for the bit.
Oh yeah,
like even just kidding around, it'd be hilarious. Because if Chris doesn't like that, it's like, well, hey, motherfucker, quit pulling your prick out in front of people. No one wants it, man, woman, or child, and you've tested that.
Also, there was a post on Reddit with D'Elia.
Oh yeah, this was great. This was just a little background. So this is from his old tour poster. You want to put that up real quick?
Yeah, it was initially deleted, so I got to put up the headline, then I can put that up after.
Oh, okay.
But it's on our Chris D'Elia. It was pledged by Chris. Did Chris post it? Was that the idea behind it?
Well, it was Chris's poster.
Yeah, it says, quote, here come the clips. "I'm not a pedophile. I'm not trying to be a cult leader. Anyways, here's the poster for my tour." And
yeah. So let's see it.
I have a kind of a crappy thing of it because it was deleted. So I had the preview snapshotted, but it's
using his child, by the way.
yeah, him
Which is
holding
even creepier. So let's put a child on the poster and make it follow the leader. This is, again, I was talking about this a lot with the creep off guys, where it's like you talk about breadcrumbs. Like with Cosby, people pull out old clips of him talking about like Spanish Fly.
Yep.
That's nothing compared to what Chris is. Everything he did was called a cult. He talked about how much he wants to run a cult. Everything was cult with this guy, to the point where it was follow the leader was his tour. I'm
rips.
the leader.
Life friggin' rips.
Life certainly does rip, Chris. Is that still true, do you think? Is life ripping these days?
Life rips your family apart.
Yeah. Sadly, the guitar act these days is a solo act, unfortunately. The band has left him.
Dang Lizard, €5. I think his point, this is back to the Callen thing. I think his point was talking conspiracy theories is different from a personal witch hunt.
Oh, no, I honestly, I kind of get what he's saying. My point with Callen is more like, that's the show you're on.
Yeah.
You know?
You know what you're getting into.
Like, it'd be crazy to go on with Alex Jones and be like, Alex, this is all a little irresponsible. You know?
Right.
Although maybe, you know what? Maybe that's what Alex Jones needed. Like when Alex Jones was talking about Sandy Hook or something, maybe that's what he needed. Is a guy like that to be like, why don't you cool off a little bit, Al?
B Skells, $5. Ripping Tweez, about to be the first person at Hooters the second they open and get ossified drunk.
Attaboy. Ripping Tweez, is that Twisted Teas?
Oh, maybe.
Well, good for you, buddy. Enjoy your Labor Day. We work on Labor Day.
That's right.
Yes.
We got magnesium linoleum, $10. Craig plays yakety sax on Mike's wiener.
If you're doing it with a friend, I think that's a little different.
Yeah, it's both sides is willing.
Yes. What is yakety sax?
The Benny Hill music.
Okay, that's fun.
I believe. Yeah, that's funny.
All right. Anything else? Is Hack Ride available?
He's not backstage yet, but if he's watching, come on back, buddy. We do still have